Dr Zee, where we share everyday stories with you, everyday women. Are you ready to hear heart-to-heart key issues that we all face, no matter where we are in the world? So grab your cup of tea and let's welcome your host, author, international speaker, reinvention strategist, and woman that's full of faith in God and mankind, Dr. Zina Arinze.
Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are around the world, you are welcome to another episode of A Cup of Tea with me, Dr. Z, Dr. Zina Arinze. And do we have an amazing, phenomenal, incredible show for you tonight. I don't know where you're watching from, where you're listening from. Just type in the chat in the notes wherever you are around the world, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on YouTube, wherever you are, Instagram, wherever you're watching from, just type in and I know. And I just want to welcome you for spending your Friday night or Friday morning or Friday afternoon. And if you're driving, please keep your hands on the wheel. on the steering wheel, wherever you are listening from, you are so welcome. I know many of you are wondering where I was last week, and it feels as if I've been away for a year, and it was just a week. I went on what will I call? I'll call it a CPD, continuous professional development, and a little bit of a holiday. I was in sunny California for, a few days. I'd like to say for a year, but it was just for a few days, just under a week. And, had the opportunity to, be trained by one of my mentors, the amazing, phenomenal, inspirational, transformational coach and speaker, Lisa Nichols. So that was one of the main reasons why I went, and also to take some time out. And that was amazing. Like I always like to say, if you are a coach or if you're a mentor, if you're in the space where you are impacting lives, you're a trainer, you're a teacher, you're in some sort of professional sphere, it's really important that you polish yourself, you refine yourself, you get trained. I remember, I think it was Oprah that was asked. I think it was Lisa Nichols that asked Oprah, "How many coaches do you have, Oprah?" And she said she has 5 coaches. And after that, Lisa said, well, she better look for some more coaches herself. But what I'm saying really is that you need to make sure that you have the right people speaking into your life or different parts of your life. There's an amazing friend of mine, Dr. Wale Olarimoye. I can't pronounce his name properly. He'll kill me if he hears this. And he has this fantastic book called The 10 Sections of Life. So each part of our life has different sections, and it's really important for each section you ensure that part of your life is being nourished, is being nurtured, is being fed, is being refined, is being stretched, whatever it is that it needs, so that you come up the best version of yourself. And if you are impacting lives, it's important even more to ensure that what you pour into someone else is actually stellar material and not just last year's news, as it were. So today I've got a phenomenal guest. I can't wait to let her descend upon you. I really can't wait. I'm not going to read her bio. The reason why I won't read her bio is because her bio is so long. It's so long. So I won't read her bio. But what I will do is just tell you a little bit about her. So this particular guest, is absolutely phenomenal, even if I say so myself. And I need to have a cup of tea. I can see you watching me. So give me a second. Ooh, lovely. Thank you. I've got lipstick all over my cup. So anyway, as I was saying, so my next guest, she is absolutely phenomenal, incredible. Even if I say so myself. And the title of today is called Charity Begins at Home. So you'll be wondering, what does she mean by this? Reinventing life, love, and leadership after divorce. So I'm going to share a little bit about my journey, because the special guest, yes, you've guessed right, is me, Dr. Zina Arinze, the Reinvention Queen. And I really thought that I'll spend a little bit of time, not too long, just to, give you some insight about what makes me tick, why I do what I do. Those that know me personally say I'm very resilient. I don't know what that means. Some people say I'm very consistent and very persistent. I just know that I'm an everyday woman, and I just do what needs to be done to get where I need to get to. So if there is a hurdle for me, I have to get over that hurdle by any means possible, within the law, of course, within the law. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. Now, I happen to be a mom, a fantastic mom, even if I say so myself. I'm not sure my daughters will agree with me, but then daughters and sons never do until when they're much older or at the graveside. But I don't know why I said that. But I happen to be an amazing mom to 2 amazing, phenomenal daughters. When I was on Facebook, I used to call them Princess Number 1 and Princess Number 2. One is 26, soon to be 27 in March, and the other one is 23, soon to be 24. I can't believe it, in February. So I can't really say that I'm 30 anymore. I can't really get away with that anymore, can I? Anyway, so I've been a proud single mom. I like to call myself the best mom ever. I've given myself the best mom ever in the whole world. And I've been a single mom since they were aged 7 and 4. So I've been doing this job single-handedly, with God, of course, to raise these amazing, amazing young women who are not just entrepreneurs in their own right, but are also both graduates, finished their degree in university. I had to see them through that. And I don't like to say had, because it's not, I did it because it's what you need to do. It doesn't matter whether you're a one parent or two parent family. You know, if you have children, if God has given you the opportunity, the blessing to have children, then you need to ensure that you do the best by them, whatever you go through. So I had, I've got two amazing children. I happen to be the proud author, and I'll tell you a bit about this book, because this is where the brand came from. As if you can see, it's called Reinvent You: How to Move from We to Me After Divorce. And this is where the brand came from, the Reinvention. And I'll talk about this in a minute. Now, I got married in when did I get married? 1996. And the divorce happened in 2009, if I remember correctly. And it was horrific. It was horrific. No, well, I don't know. I didn't go into marriage expecting to be divorced. I mean, I didn't even know what that word meant. As far as I was concerned, divorce was something that Elizabeth Taylor did. And for those of you you might not know who she is, but for those of you that do know, she got divorced several times and got remarried several times. And at one point, she got remarried to the same man, Richard Burton. And she was an amazing actress, really, really beautiful, and all that. And she's a serial marrier, as it were. Obviously, nowadays, there's much more of that going on. But then it was quite rare. And people used to talk about her. She was so pretty. For those of you that watch films, she was Cleopatra, the first version, I think, of Cleopatra. Beautiful woman during her time. She was obviously dead and all that. Anyway, so that, as far as I was concerned as a child, all I knew was divorce was that lady. I didn't know anything else about it. I didn't know it happens. I just, you just get married, you meet your prince in shiny armor, and you hold hands. He meets your prince. He becomes a king. You become the queen, and you walk down into the sunset, and you all live happily ever after. That was, my version. That was what I expected. Didn't expect anything differently, but it didn't happen. There were lots of things, and I'm not going to go into, all that for this, because we're only going to talk for not too long. But what I do remember, and I'll talk about this, is once the divorce happened, and there's a story before then, but that if you come to any of my live events, you would hear it then. But once that happened, I was now with the children, the two girls, and I was sad. I felt depressed. I felt like a failure. I felt so down, so bleak, so everything was just dark around me. I couldn't believe it. And for those of you, you'll be saying, you see this lady, this is amazing. Oh, Dr. Zina, she's a fantastic lady. But what you won't know, what was going on behind that. I was wearing a mask. I was so incredibly sad. In the workplace, I would go to the toilet, cry, and then go into the boardroom and hold meetings. And you can imagine me signing off, $1 million deals and projects and programs. And it's just the grace of God that I didn't sign away corporate money because I was not in the right headspace. But I had to keep my job because I had children to raise. But there was so much darkness around me. I was so incredibly sad. And it wasn't until I noticed that my daughters were actually absorbing that sadness as well. They were very tearful. They were in primary school at the time, very tearful, very latchy. What was that word? This kind of hold on to me, very clingy, very sad. And I'm thinking, Zina, what are you doing? Whatever's happened to you should not happen to them. what, that you're going to destroy their lives even before they start. And that was what the switch was. So I was so dark, dim, deep in the valley, and then I was able to come out of the valley because I looked behind me and I could see my two daughters, disintegrating before my very eyes emotionally. And so I had to make a decision. I'm thinking, okay, what do I do? How do I get out of this funk? I was reading my Bible. For those of you that know me personally, I'm a practicing Christian. I'm a born again Christian. So I was reading my Bible, I was going to church, but it wasn't cutting it. And that's not to say that God doesn't heal. God does heal, and God has healed me. But what I needed at the time, I was listening to God and all that, but what I needed in terms of people advice and counseling and was not there because it wasn't available. Then I said to myself, well, if I'm like this and I'm a happy-go-lucky, lively sort of person, and I'm feeling like this, how much more people that are introverted, are sad, much more than I need to do something about this. So I did a lot of research and I discovered that there was something called divorce recovery coaching. Now, I was already a coach by this time. So I went back to school and got recertified as a divorce recovery coach. There is a backstory behind that. So it wasn't like I just suddenly went there. It was one of those things where my coach at the time, the amazing, phenomenal Dr. Joanna Martin, she's an Australian. She had said to me, "Oh, Zina, you know what? I know you're a coach, and I know you coach women and men, but that's too wide. You need to be coaching people just like you." I'm thinking, people just like me. What do you mean by that? So people that are professional like you, divorced women, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't know what that is. No. I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. Thank you very much. And this is a learning point for anyone listening right now. If you employ a coach or a mentor, do take their leadership and their guidance, because they're trying to shorten the curve for you. I didn't take her guidance immediately because I was thinking, well, I'm a Christian. I don't want anything to do with divorce. The Bible says that God hates divorce. I was already hating on myself because my marriage had crumbled, and I didn't want to do anything and to do with that. So that wasn't happening. And she said to me, look, Zina, you've spent thousands with me for a year, and I'll be doing you a disservice if I don't guide you along this, the right path. You need to be, number one, you can't coach everyone. Number two, if you're really good at what you do, you will have not just divorced people, you will have other people. Did I believe her? No, I didn't. Anyway, a lots of toing and throwing, and this was in 2011, so let's see, I've been a coach for that long, 2011, 2012. And she said, look, you've written your business plan and all that, and I'm not going to sign this for you, and I'm just taking your money for free of charge. Listen to me, trust the process, and you'll see the magic happen. So after about 6 months of paying my direct debit and not going anywhere very far because I wasn't listening, I decided to listen, and I set up a business called Believe and Live Again. Many of you that know me personally will remember that, Believe and Live Again, which is the post-divorce lifestyle service for professional women, helping them move from we to me after divorce. Set that up in 2012, and after that, things began to shift. People saw me all over the world on Facebook. They were inviting me to speak and like, look, Zina, I'm not divorced and I love the work you do, but I need to work with someone like you. You're compassionate. You get it. And I'm thinking, what they're talking about? I get what? And suddenly it dawned on me that what Dr. Joanna Martin said, we call her Joey, had said, it actually rang true. She said, look, if you are good at what you do, and if you are empathic, and if you are magnetic, which I am, I know that now, that what will happen is that you will attract your tribe, the people that you need to go to market for, or you need to introduce yourself into the market, but you'll also attract other people. And so in 2018, I set up the Reinvent You experience, and I'll talk about that in a minute, a bit more. And this was predominantly just for women who are going through anything. So whether it's at work, whether it's some sort of transition, whether it's a lifestyle change, maybe retirement, maybe empty nest, whatever it was, but you were stuck. You were stuck in a position, you were stagnant, you couldn't move forward, you didn't know how to turn to the left or turn to the right, and you needed guidance, you needed someone to keep you accountable. And I set up this in 2018. And it was just after the launch of this book. So this book was launched in 2018. You can see, fantastic book. It's about to be, second edition is coming out. So that's why I'm talking about this a little bit more. In 2018. But what was amazing about it is that people said, look, I'm not divorced. I love this book, but I want to know how to reinvent myself. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I need to change my job. I need to change my, whatever it was, I'm stuck. So in 2018, I did my first live event under this, called the Reinvent You Experience. Can you see the journey from divorce, which was pain, and then passion, and eventually profit? So I, set up this in 2018, and I was doing once a year in Mayfair, the Reinvent You Experience, and women from all over the world would come. I had speakers. It was a multi-speaker event, and we would speak into people's lives. We'd get accountability partners, get people to do goals, all the normal stuff you do with coaching, but it was on a big scale, and all because of divorce, all because my marriage failed. And what am I telling you? What I'm saying is that you will see that something will be quite unpleasant, but no matter how unpleasant it is, beauty can come out from ashes. The Bible says it. You can have beauty from ashes. You really can. And that was how my journey started. So the book, became a bestseller. The book became a workbook where I used some parts of the book to create a workbook for other people who are women but are not divorced but are stuck. And out of this, I set up the Reinvent You After Abuse Foundation, which is my not-for-profit, which is an organization where we help women and their families get back on their feet financially through financial education, etc., because they have experienced abuse. And if you know anything about abuse, and I'm talking about it because in a few days we're going to have the 16 days of activism, and we know that here in the UK, and it's different all over the world, but here in the UK, I think it's 1 in 3 in terms of violence against women and young girls. So it's something close to my heart, stuff that I've gone through myself, but close to my heart. And I know that many women who find themselves in this situation don't know how to get back on their feet financially. Perhaps they never had a bank account. Perhaps they don't know how to check their credit rating. Perhaps they've been in a relationship that their credit rating was damaged by the relationship, whatever it is. But you want to get back on your feet financially, and set that up in, I think that was 2019. It was the last thing I did for that year, I think, or maybe it's 2019. Myself and a group of accountants, I can't count, a group of accountants, on my board, and we give workshops on budgeting, shares, how to invest and trade in shares, how to check your credit rating, how to go back to work, everything to do how to get you financially free. And that's been amazing. It's a passion project of mine. But that all came, if you listen to the journey, Believe and Live Again was the vehicle in 2011, 2012. That was after being a coach for 3 years prior, coaching everyone, which you can't do. Launched the book. Then, started the Reinvent You Experience once a year. Then we had COVID, and so we now took it off from live to on in the Zoom room and all that, and we were doing it twice a year. And then suddenly, what I was realizing, that the clients that were coming in were professionals. At the moment, I have doctors, I have lawyers. Well, understandably, I would have lawyers because I'm a lawyer myself. I have lawyers. I have midwives. I have dentists. I have all sorts of professionals from all spheres of life, leaders in their own right, who need someone who can understand their journey, will not kind of be condescending, will be able to speak the language, because I'm in leadership myself, and understand how lonely it can be in leadership. And we've come full circle, and came back to the Reinvent You experience, which many of you know now, it's online and everything, where I still do the divorce work, and that's through referral more than anything else. But the Reinvent You experience is really for women in leadership, especially women of color in leadership all over the world, to help them get the recognition, the reward, the respect, and everything else they deserve for what they bring to their organizations or to their businesses. And we can talk about that until I'm blue in the face. Glass ceilings, red ceilings, cement ceilings. But it's something that I'm really, really passionate about. And this is really how my journey has begun. It came out of darkness where I was so sad, so depressed, because I felt as if my life was over. I felt as if I was a failure because my marriage failed. Only to realize that marriage is an event. I believe in marriage. If I can remarry, I will. If I find the right person, or if the right person finds me, for those of you that are Christians, he who finds a wife, but if the right person finds me, I will remarry. I'm not against, I'm a romantic at heart, so I'm not jaded in any shape or form. But what is also done for me is for me to understand that marriage is an event in our lives. If it works, it's fantastic, but it should not stop you in your tracks. All of us will have all sorts of trials and tribulations, but we still need to ensure that we put our best foot forward and we help as many people as possible. And I'm just looking, oh my days. Hello, Valerie. Hi, Sade. Oh, thank you so much. Someone said I'm such a bless. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Simone. Oh, thank you. God bless you all. So that's part of my journey. And the reason why I've just jumped on quickly, I wasn't here last week, and I've just gotten back. I literally got back into the country on Tuesday, and then my youngest daughter was having her graduation in Coventry, so we had to kind of, and then I've literally done part of Africa Coaching Week, or speaking on that. So this week has been beep, and obviously a 9 to 5 as well. And I just felt the time it will take to kind of sort out my guests. I know I've got guests lined up until the end of January, but it was just going to be too much. And it's really important also for you, if you're listening, to know when to take a break. Progress is better than perfection. And I said to myself, I've been doing this consistently since the 8th of December last year, and took a short break mid-year, well, at the beginning of the year, March till about April, when I lost my mum. But other than that, we've been going strong. And most of these shows are live. I think I've only pre-recorded one, although I have been advised to think about pre-recording, but I like the live experience. I like to be able to speak to people and chat and all that. But ultimately, the reason why I'm sharing this story quickly is for you to know that everyone has a story. Charity really does begin at home. You can't pour from an empty cup. If I'm not whole in myself, I can't empower people to the extent that I've been called to empower. I can't teach, I can't guide, I can't lead. And so it's really important. Another thing I want to say very, very quickly is that whatever you go through in life, give yourself grace. Start with grace. Give yourself grace. Pat yourself on the shoulders. For some of you, maybe you've lost a loved one, especially during COVID. Perhaps you've lost a loved one. It doesn't have to be a marriage failure or something else. I mean, perhaps you've lost a job, or perhaps at work they're not, giving you the kudos that you deserve. Maybe, you've been undermined, you've been turfed out of a job, you've been whatever it is. But give yourself grace to grieve that loss, whatever that loss might be. Give yourself the grace to feel the emotions. What I was doing at the time was that I was working overtime, with my IT hat. I'm also a project management consultant, consulting for one of the major charities. And but at the time I was working corporate, in a leadership role. I had a team of 52 under me, so there was a lot of responsibility, and I was always in the toilet crying, like I said, and I'll come out. But I would work overtime, so I would stay in the office because I just couldn't face home. So rather than facing what was in front of me, I would stay, at work and just work, 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 work. So if you are someone that likes to work, 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 I'd like to challenge you right now to ask you, why are you overworking? It's good to have, there's dignity in work, and that's good, but just check yourself and make sure there's nothing else you might be avoiding. So check yourself. Work is good. There is dignity in work, but just ensure that you're balancing it. Give yourself grace. If you need to rest, rest. I needed to rest. I wanted to do this show last week from California. I planned it. I actually went with my ring light. Don't tell anyone. Went with all my everything. Went with my green screen and I said, I'll set it up. But when I got there, I said to myself, you know what? No, Zina, you've gone to take a break and you've gone to be poured into. How would Lisa feel and all the other coaches feel when they're busy trying to pour into you, and they're paid bottom dollar for that, and you're busy not being present? So I had to make a decision, said, you know what, I'll send a message to all my followers, which I did, and said, look, I'm so sorry, this can't go on. This is the reason why I'm taking a well-being day off, which I did. So give yourself some grace. Surround yourself with people who will uplift you. Stay rooted in your faith. If you have faith, stay rooted in your faith, and remind yourself daily that you are worthy. Remind yourself daily, whatever you've gone through, whatever you may go through, you may not have gone through anything, but whatever you may go through, whatever, aspect of your life that you may not be completely happy with, remind yourself that you are worthy. You are worthy of joy. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of purpose. You are worthy of profit, dare I say. And I just want to say quickly that, yes, I am known as the Reinvention Queen, but reinvention doesn't happen overnight. I like to say that reinvention is an inside job. It happens from the inside out. You've got to do the work on the inside. You've got to rediscover yourself. Stop running away from yourself. There are some of you that will never go to the cinema by yourself or go for a meal. You're always looking for someone to go with. Start the journey of getting reacquainted to who you are. Go on solo holidays. I go on solo. That's what I do. I go on solo holidays all the time now. And I'll tell you this, how this started. I remember, I think in 2018, I said to my daughters, okay, guys, you all work. I know you're in, okay, my oldest one she was still in university. My youngest one, I think she was doing her A-levels, but they were both working. The youngest was working in ads. They were all earning, money. And I said, look, we need to go on a family holiday. We haven't gone for one for about a year, about 18 months. We need to go on one. So what will happen is that I'll sort out the hotel and everything else and all the trips and everything else. And you guys can just buy your plane tickets. Now, my oldest daughter said to me, Mom, I'm too busy. You can't just I'm very spontaneous. If you know me personally, you will know I'm very spontaneous. I just do things as it comes to me. My oldest daughter said, Mom, you can't just spring it to me. You have to give me notice. I'm thinking, it's holiday time. It's midterm or what? It was holiday time. So what notice? And I asked my youngest daughter, okay. She said, oh, Mom, yeah, I'll come. But if it's a family holiday, I don't see why I need to be buying my ticket anyway. Gen Zs, yes. So I'm thinking, right, okay. So obviously, Mom here, I'm thinking, single mom, I'm feeling sorry for myself. I've sacrificed so much, dude. I was just going into a strop in my mind because I'm a normal everyday woman. So I'm not some angel. So I'm going into a strop thinking, oh, I can't believe it. Oh, they're so selfish. And then I just decided, I said, well, hang about, you can do this by yourself. So I bought a ticket. And I can't remember where I went. I went to Spain, or where did I go that year? Went to Dominica. Yes, went to the Dominican Republic. So I called from the airport, and because we, as a family, we tell each other where we are. We have the WhatsApp group and everything, and if you're coming back late, everybody knows. We all have our keys. And I call. I'm like, oh, hi, Mom, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the airport. What are you doing at the airport? Where are you? Heathrow. What are you doing? I said, oh, are you picking up someone? I'm like, no, I don't pick up anyone from the airport. They can get a train, and I can pick them up from the train station. So what are you doing? Oh, I'm on my way. On your way to where? Dominica. What? And that was how I started my solo travel. So now I just find where I want to go and I go. Sometimes we go together, but it's, so I don't know. This might be something that will help someone. If you're waiting for your group in the group chat, your girlies to all plan together to go out and everyone's waiting, oh, I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm not available this day, that whatever it is, get up and do it yourself. Because you are responsible for your life, for your experiences, and for your memories. Make memories for yourself. Hello, Wendy. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, rest and recharge is needed. Thank you. You are responsible for your life. That group chat is amazing, but if it doesn't happen and you're waiting for your best friend, next door neighbors, groups, fellowship to all do it together, life is passing you by. And like I always say, tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us, and I'm not being morbid. The next thing I want to say quickly is, in terms of when I say that charity begins at home, it really starts with yourself. You are deserving of the love that you want to give to other people. I like people. I love people. I love on people. But I had to learn to love on me first. Because when I love on me first, the way I love you is even better. When I love on me first, I have the right boundaries in place. If I respect myself better, when I talk to you, I'm able to respect your boundaries and respect you better. And what you get out of me is much better. A better quality of coach, a better quality of friend, a better quality of sister, of minister, whatever it is, however it is that you know me, because I have chosen to honor myself. So I want you also to honor yourself in all that you do. Charity begins at home. Reinvention is an inside job. You start on the inside. You get the training you need. You get the love. You get the balance you need. You get, the validation that you need. Start with, for me, it's from God. I love the fact that people can say, oh, you're such an amazing woman. And that's amazing. But that can change tomorrow. But the way that God sees me, and I know many of you may not be Christians, and I'm not trying to, ram that down your throat, but whatever it is that you believe, for me, it's God. I get my validation from him. So wherever it is that you get your validation from, what I would say is validate yourself first. Lift up yourself. Don't wait for me to tell you that you are amazing. Tell yourself that you are amazing. Tell yourself that you are enough. Do the work. If you need counseling, go for counseling. If you need therapy, go for therapy. Whatever it is that you need to be the best version of yourself. If you need a coach, I'm here, right here. Come to me. And if I'm not the right person for you, I can signpost you to someone else. Because in this industry, we know ourselves, and and we're many. So whatever it is that you need, go the extra mile for you. Because many of you go the extra mile for other people. Go the extra mile for you. And keep the promises that you make to yourself. That's one thing I do. The promises I make to myself, I do them all. Sometimes I might not do them at the time that I plan to, but they never get ticked off my list until I do them. So I guess that's probably why people say I'm very persistent, I'm very resilient. I don't see it like that. I just see it as these are promises I've made to myself, and I want a situation where whenever it is that I die, I can say that I have died empty. There's nothing left inside of me to give. There's nothing left inside of me to be refined. There's nothing left inside of me to be polished or redefined. And I have given my best to everyone that happens to have the opportunity to either work with me, talk with me, network with me, in whatever it is, in whatever capacity, because I have done the work. Now, in closing, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me share a little bit of my heart with you today. I hope that this episode is completely different from the ones I've done in the past, but I hope it has been able to remind you that reinvention is possible. It is possible. You just need to trust the process. If how you are, or if what's going on in your life is not working for you, Don't waste your life. Reinvent. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you need to, but start on the inside first. Start on your mindset. Start on the inside first. And no matter where you are starting from in terms of days, it's never too late. You can start today. You can start today. Don't say, oh, I wish I'd done this last year. You can start today. We're getting to the end of the year. In a couple of days, we're going to be in December. Don't say, oh, 2024 was horrible. I didn't do this, that, and the other. Start from now. Start from now and start to evaluate what probably didn't work, but also evaluate what did work. What did work, and build on that. And you don't need to announce to anyone that you're reinventing yourself. You don't need to, just do it. You don't owe anyone any, thank you so much. You don't owe anyone any, it's on a need to know basis. You don't owe anyone any explanation. Oh, this is why I'm doing this, that, and the other. You just do it. You just do it. I spotlight everyday women around the world on this podcast. I do this regularly. It's among the many things that I do. But I'm not waiting for anyone to validate me. I'm not waiting for someone to say, oh, I don't like it. I don't like the colors. I don't like this. You're entitled to your opinion. And that's fine. But this is my platform. So I'm entitled to do what I want to do the way I want to do it. And when you get to that stage in your life where you trust yourself, you trust the process, and you respect yourself. And I'm not saying don't take advice. Please, please, please do take advice when you need to. But remember that you are responsible for your choices and your decisions, no one else. So if you take advice and if it's the wrong advice, it's on you. I hope that makes sense. So please own your advice, own your decisions, be wise with your choices, be ready to change. So be flexible, be adaptable, be ready to change as many times as you need to. And I hope this is helpful. I mean, I could go on forever, but I can't really. I was trying to put myself in two different heads. So me, the interviewer. So Dr. Zina, tell us a little bit about yourself. But then you probably think I need the doctors right now. So I hope this has been helpful. I just thought it's important to kind of unpeel a little bit about who I am and why I do what I do and what makes me tick. And like I said at the beginning, for those of you at the beginning, this is my book. As we speak, the second edition is being done. And so it will be out soon before March. The second edition ready to purchase again on Amazon. It's off Amazon right now while we do a few things, updates with regards to the law regarding divorce, and a few chapters about self-leadership are going into this. But look at it, it's an amazing book, even if I say so myself, and you will love it. So I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait to get the second edition out to as many people as need it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been amazing talking to all of you. For those of you that have been putting your comments in the chat, thank you. I really appreciate that you've taken out time from your busy Friday to spend it with me and my cups of tea. Next week, we'll have another amazing guest. I'm not going to be doing this myself next week. I'll have another guest waiting to speak to you. But until next time, do look after yourself, look after each other, look after your families, change, be adaptable, have a growth mindset, give yourself some grace, pat yourself on the back, and remember, reinvention is an inside job. Love you all so much. Take care and God bless you.
Thanks for listening to A Cup of Tea with Dr. Z, your reinvention queen. We hope you've been motivated and inspired to go out there and conquer any obstacles and issues you may face. You can find Dr. Zina on all social platforms. Until next time, remember, you're not alone.